All right, hello everybody. Welcome. This is the AI-assisted BI session. Thank you all for joining very much. Just as kind of quick reminders up top, right? Everything we share today is potentially subject to change, so just kind of forewarning that things are not always set in stone, subject to roadmap and feedback from customers like yourselves. Once again, also a reminder to complete the surveys. It does really help us get feedback and understand how to make these sessions better each year. Cool, so as a quick introduction, I'm Alex, and this is Chung right here. We are both from the AI BI product team. Well, I'm from the product team, Chung is from the engineering team. And specifically, we look at kind of dashboards and Genie within AI BI. So here to share a little bit about what we've been working on and some of the new features in AI BI. And I don't know why that is flashing, but. So quick reminder, if you've all been to Keynote, you've probably seen this as well. But just kind of to reiterate, we're talking about two products here within the AI BI product line. The first is the dashboarding product. This is kind of for your visual analytics, your reporting, kind of sharing and distributing insights to your broader organization. And the second is Genie. So Genie is a talk to your data experience meant to kind of enable that last mile self-service analytics problem. And together, these are both built into Databricks, right? So there's kind of no additional costs, no per user licensing. Everything is available just natively inside of the Databricks platform. So there's a few things that we've been working on the dashboards and Genie side to make things a little bit smarter over the last year. So the first is kind of this challenge, which is that dashboard authors can't always predict every single question that a user might go to the dashboard for, right? And they can try to add every single dimension and every single measure and give you, this N by M matrix that's just gigantic on the dashboard, and you have to scroll to the right part of the page to find that insight. But that's kind of a tough journey, and it takes a lot of time to enable. So what we've gone ahead and done is integrated dashboards and Genie together. So now on a dashboard, you can pull up Genie, and you can click on a particular chart to ask a follow-up question and get more insights. So you don't have to go build out that full N by M matrix. You can build out like a core set of visualizations, and then people can sort of ask those follow-ups directly on top of that. Another thing that we've heard takes a lot of time is investigating anomalies. Oftentimes you'll see kind of spikes or dips in your data, and you want to figure out what's going on there, what's causing that. And so that's where we've launched Top Drivers. This is now in a private preview, so let us know if you're interested in enrolling in this preview. And you saw this in the keynote, but it enables you to click on a data point and inspect and see what's driving that increase or decrease. Another thing we've heard is like, hey, we need to go beyond just displaying numbers, right? We need something that's a little bit more insightful in terms of analysis. And so with AI BI, you can integrate all the power of Databricks SQL and some of the AI functions that exist within it. That lets you do things like forecasting, you can do sentiment analysis, you can do classification, straight out of the box, just in a few easy clicks. And finally, one of the things on the Genie side that we've been hearing over and over again is this push to move beyond just descriptive analytics, beyond just point in time, this number on this day. People want kind of a coworker to help them out. And so that's where the deep reasoning effort has come in. And with deep reasoning, you're able to kind of click and get a plan for exactly what a good analysis is and address some of those more vague questions. Awesome. I won't go over everything that we've launched. Instead, I'm going to have Chung come up here, and we're going to actually just demo a bunch of these features. And then at the end, we'll definitely save some time for Q&A as well.
Okay, great. So here we have a pretty standard dashboard over some sales data for my fake apparel clothing store. It's using a lot of the latest features in dashboard, calculated measures, dimensions. It's got multiple pages here. And it has these global filters that allows you to filter across all these pages. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. Today, we want to share how we are trying to reimagine the dashboarding experience by deeply integrating AI to help you understand and make sense of your data. So a lot of these AI-driven analysis is only possible if you attach a Genie to your dashboard. So to do that, when you publish a dashboard, here's the edit. you need to enable Genie. So here's the toggle that you see now in your published dialog. And here you can choose to either auto-generate Genie space that will just work based on the charts and data that's associated with the dashboard, or you can link to a custom Genie space that you've already curated and want to use, which is what we're doing here. So now that Genie is attached to the dashboard, let's see what we can do. I am looking at this total net revenue chart, and it is not looking good. That's not super great, especially this scary dip here in April. So I really want to see what's going on. So the first thing I want to show you is that I can now right-click on this data point and ask to explain this decrease. So this is what we're calling top driver analysis. We're basically taking the two data points that we saw on the chart, the March and April data points, and looking at the metric that we were charting by, which is the net revenue. And we're going to take a look at all the segments that sum up to this metric and see how they have changed from March to April. So for example, here you can see each segment that we found in the data set that's powering the chart, as well as how each has changed with respect to the net revenue. And you can see, for example, that the biggest drop comes from this gender women segment, so that's not great. I can click into this bar to drill one level further down. So I can see, when gender is women, how do the segments perform? And I can see down here, for example, that, okay, the color navy is really not doing well, but also my spring collection is really dropping off. That's not great because this is April, and my spring collection is supposed to be taking off and not tapering off, so something is going wrong. I would love to find out, dig in more. If I can scroll down a little bit, this is just a different visualization that allows us to kind of compare what happened in March and in April, and right now this is broken down by the collection. So you can see there's a big drop in net revenue from March to April, and you can see, for example, winter is dropping off, which you expect in April, but spring collection is also taking a big drop from here to here. So I need to figure out why. One experience that we're experimenting with now is what you saw in the keynote called Genie Deep Research. Usually, Genie is tuned to kind of, when you ask a question, to give you a really quick and accurate answer following your instructions and your creation in your Genie space as closely as possible. But with Genie Deep Research, we're relaxing that constraint a little bit. We're giving it more freedom to explore, to hypothesize, still using the creation that you have built into your Genie space, but to be able to explore some more. It's just a kind of a different way to answer your question. So this experience is currently only on the full Genie space, so let's open that up. And I'm going to ask that question. So why is my spring collection net revenue in 2025 so much lower than 2024? I'm going to toggle Deep Research on and let it go. So Genie is going to first think about, okay, what are some possible reasons why this might happen, and it's going to try to come up with a plan of kind of different hypotheses that it might have. I'm going to let it get started while we look over this plan. So it's going to check a few things. It's going to check if net revenue is actually going down. It's going to check if there's any promotional impact on the revenue. It's going to check customer engagement, product level revenue, like different product categories, and also the product rating and reviews. So it's going in the background, exploring all these different possibilities, and it's going to summarize our conclusion, which I hope it keeps the script, but we will see. So it's saying, yes, there's a significant decrease. Their session dropped, add to cart actions dropped, and so on. And with these observations, it all comes with a citation. So you can see, what's the data behind these assertions. And it also noticed drops across certain SKUs, et cetera. And the average product rating in 2025 was really low, 2.74. So I can also click and see what's going on there. And yeah, that does sound low. Let's see what's going on. So I'm going to switch back to my dashboard, close this out, and I have a page just around my customer product reviews. So when they buy things, they can give me a review, and they supply a rating and also a text of what their review was. But from these, I'm able to extract things like sentiment, whether this was a positive, mixed, or a negative review, and also extract some topics that are mentioned in this review. This allows me to build some useful visualizations, like, counting how many reviews are positive versus negative, as well as how many reviews mention the topics I care about. So that's really useful. Let's dig in a little bit and see how I built that. OK, so the magic in this case is in the dataset definition. And this is the dataset that is powering those charts. So the first thing I want to draw your attention to is this. So can you guys read it? Maybe? Yeah? OK, I can try to zoom in a little more. OK, so AI analyze sentiment, that's a built-in SQL function that takes in a blob of text and will return either positive, negative, or mixed, or unknown. So we just analyze the sentiment that's in that text. There's a family of AI functions like this that can help you do pre-canned analysis really quickly. So for example, there's AI summarize, summarizes a lot of text into a very little text. There's AI classify that classifies a piece of text into a number of categories that it defines, for example. A lot of these AI functions use LLM models under the hood, and they are pre-tuned to perform these specific tasks really well. So if you have, it's super useful to have these AI functions as part of your SQL language, because you can just run it anywhere you're writing SQL. So you're looking at data, you come across some text, you need to classify this somehow. The tool is just there. You don't have to go into a notebook, start doing some analysis pipeline, and do all that stuff. It's just right there in your SQL language. These pre-canned ones are really handy, but sometimes you just want to do some kind of custom analysis using a large language model. You really want control over the prompt, et cetera. So that is what AI Query is for. AI Query is your general LLM tool that gives you a lot of freedom to do exactly what you need to do. So here, it takes in the model that you want to use. We're using just a foundation model, Llama 3 here. This comes out of their box in your Databricks workspace. But you can also point it to any custom model that you've built and that you're serving through a model serving endpoint. And it takes in any custom prompt. So in this case, my prompt is this. Given the following review, classify into one of the following topics. Blah, blah, blah. And scroll. And here's the review. So basically, for every row in my review table, I'm generating a custom prompt that has that review embedded. And I'm using that prompt to send to an LLM to get a response from the LLM. And I am asking the LLM to give me the response in this format, which is basically just a string, an array of strings, which corresponds to the review topics. And that is enough to give me this table that I'm looking for. So these are the topics that were extracted and the sentiments that from each review. All right, so back to my story. The average rating here, it does seem to be dropping here. I need to figure out why. So I can, because this is Genie, you can ask follow-up questions however you like. Can you break down weekly average rating in 2025 by collection? And I can see, why is my average rating dropping? And is this isolated to my spring collection, or is it over the whole line? And here I can confirm that, yeah, spring is looking especially dicey here. So something's wrong, and so on. Yeah, this is, now I'm thinking, well, I'm getting pretty nervous about my outlook here, so maybe I should forecast this out farther and see what's going to happen. I can now click on this chart, and I need to, can you see this? Oh, yeah. And go down, and oh, nope, I need to, okay, I need to zoom out a little bit. Oh, yeah. So, and add, and forecast, I just want to forecast that line series out. So what this is doing under the hood is creating a new data set that has the forecast embedded, and it's using a new visualization type to render this kind of forecast analysis. And yeah, so there it is. What it's doing under the hood over here is it's using a different AI function called AI forecast. Zoom back in, which takes in the original table and just forecasts it out for another few months. This is using a profit-like model. Of course, every forecasting is an art, and you probably have a lot of bespoke forecasting to do, but this is a really easy way to just do some back-of-the-napkin analysis on what happens if I just draw this or forecast this time series out and get a sense of what's going on. So yeah, those are some of the ideas that we're experimenting with to bring AI into dashboard and help you do your analysis better.